And now, an 8th special presentation.
This time on Art Beat Nation. A Korean-born artist doesn't give up on her dreams.
Since I was a little girl, I love to draw anything on anywhere.
A photographer remembers a treasured loved one in a unique way.
It is sort of me interacting with her and creating her is a way of sort of me trying to get back to her.
A Las Vegas native captures Hollywood stars passing through town.
The town is constantly changing, which is great for our job. I love what I'm doing.
And we get an inside look at the beauty and complexity of the human body.
So one specimen will teach generations upon generations about their body.
It's all ahead on this edition of Art Beat Nation. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 by viewers like you. Thank you. First up, we head to Sacramento, California, where an artist is making her dreams come true. A South Korean native, So-young Choi moved to the U.S. to study art. Now she's pursuing her lifelong passion and impacting others along the way.
My name is So-young Choi. In Korea, we say Choi So-young. And I do installations usually, and sometimes video, as well as photographs too. Since I was a little girl, I love to draw anything on anywhere. Then I went to elementary school, middle school, high school. Only thing I was interested in just art classes. I graduated from high school. I had to make money instead of going to university. I just had to fold kind of my dream at that time. One day, I was very, very bored, got bored of office work. One day I watched the TV and then saw textile design institution. I just started my dream from there. But after 5 or 6 years, I got bored again. So at that time, my mom was living in the United States. Then she invited me. As soon as I come to the state, I started working at flea market in Roseville, a huge flea market. But at the same time, I had to go to junior college to learn English. And at the flea market, I found lots of used material. They selling lots of used objects from their house. Clothes, forks, knives, kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff, even furniture. Back in Korea in 1990s, we didn't have that culture, selling our used stuff. We gave stuff to our relatives, our family, but we don't sell them. First thing I found is cassette tapes. And I started making installations using cassette tapes. One day, when I had this show, my work was installation, cassette tapes. And then mom, like in 40s, and then a girl came to see the show. I placed all the cassette tapes on the floor, and then the mom looked down and carefully looked one of the cassette tapes and said, this is a song. And when I was a little girl, this was a song your grandma used to sing to me before I go to sleep. And the girl said, huh? What is it? Can you sing, Mom? And she sang a little bit. That moment, that interaction between my work and the viewer, that was very, very touching moment. They remember their past, their memory. What they get is very touching, actually, because everybody's memories and history are different, and how they get from an object, they're all different. But the way they feel from my work is very touching. All the ideas in art world, everything has been done. So I cannot say, oh, my work is very different than any others. Somehow now I think my path in my life is already made. But I think everybody, their life is already made several different ways. Depends on you, how you choose, how you put yourself 100% and concentrate on what you want, and then you can choose which way you want to go. If there's a chance, I would like to teach also, but I like to travel to see more what's out there.
To see more of So-young's artwork, visit soyoungchoi.com. Up next, we head to Columbus, Ohio, where artist Jenny Fine is using old photographs to explore the relationship she once had with her deceased grandmother. Fine took photos of her in the last 10 years of her life and now uses those images to explore the role of loved ones who live on film.
I'm going to start over. Sure, yeah. So the Flat Daddies are cardboard cutouts that are of deployed soldiers for when they're deployed. Sorry, this is because I'm nervous.
Don't worry, just take a breath, we're good. Take as many times as you need.
Okay. Sorry. I kind of wanted to start anyway, if it's okay. Can I just start talking more about like storytelling? Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I grew up sort of in a family of storytellers. Just being from the South, I think it's part of the culture anyway, a way of passing on things and also making sense of the past. And a lot of the stories that my grandmother told me growing up, and a lot of the time that we spent together was at the table, sort of rehashing stories from the past. She was a college professor for 50 years, and so she had all of this knowledge, and at the same time was really sort of eccentric in a lot of ways. We would get all these things organized and together, and we'd go out into the landscape, and she would be so patient with me and tell me stories as we were doing it, and we would reenact these things together. Now I can look back and say that my collaboration with her started really at a really young age. And so when she died, I really felt like I wanted to extend that space of creating and that space of possibility, because in a way she made things feel really comfortable for me. When I was in grad school, another student in grad school with me, Amy Powell, brought a clipping to a critique one night about the Flat Daddy Project, which are life-size cardboard cutouts from the waist up of soldiers. When they're deployed to Iraq, they would act as a stand-in for the absent loved one. And so I became really curious and interested about what is the Flat Daddy? How are people interacting with the Flat Daddy? And so I started to search online about all these blogs and how people were literally documenting their everyday life with Flat Daddy. I wanted to think about what was a way for me to sort of continue to work with her image after her death. I started sort of just as making a life-size photograph of her and posing with just the photograph, and then started cutting her out and then putting her into these installations where things were happening around her and she was a part of it. I'm trying to think of the words. Well, I got a chance to speak about my work in Chicago a couple of months ago, and a guy was saying that it was interesting that I only refer to her now really as Flat Granny. It really is true that, I mean, I call her Flat Granny because this is Flat Granny. It's not my grandmother, but it is sort of me interacting with her and creating her. It's a way of sort of me trying to get back to her in a way and sort of grasp at the things that are her. Maybe I attended my grandfather's funeral, but I was so young I don't remember. So when she married Papa Clay and he died, I remember that she spent the whole reception at the funeral home walking around with a little disposable camera. And she would talk to everyone and greet everyone, and she would say, "Doesn't he look so handsome?" And then she'd walk up to the casket, charge the flash, and then take another picture of him. I couldn't not get the last image. But my dad also agrees, and I think it came to him after a little while too, that it was a shared experience. There are images definitely that we took together that she said, this is for us. I don't want anybody to see these, and no one's ever seen them, you know. And they are sort of the special thing for me. I think about that a lot, and I feel quite certain that she's okay with it. I don't think I would do it if I felt that she wasn't okay. I don't think, I know I wouldn't do it if she wasn't okay with it. A huge responsibility, you know, possessing these images and choosing how these images live on, and sort of her reputation. And I don't know, it just felt right. It felt okay. And I think for the same reason, I feel that the way I use her image, it still feels really right. It still feels really in the vein of I don't know, it just still feels right.
To see more of Fine's work, visit jennyfine.com. Next, photojournalist Darren Bush has been at the Las Vegas News Bureau for more than 25 years, documenting news, nightlife, and everything in between. Bush highlights some of his favorite snapshots and takes us into the archives for a rare look at this ever-changing city.
I think that Las Vegas has a great history. Brenda Lee, she's an old-time rock and roll girl. She actually headlined at the Flamingo in Las Vegas when she was 12 years old. I am aware every time I take a picture that is contributing to the story, to the history of Las Vegas. The George Morrow dancers at the El Rancho Vegas, that's one of the first images that the News Bureau took in 1949. Gene Simmons with Kiss. I shot that at the back of the MGM Grand with Debbie Reynolds and Chubby Checker, Faith Hill. Shirley MacLaine. The town is constantly changing, which is great for our job. I love what I'm doing. This is the Mamie Van Dorn picture in 1957 at the Riviera Hotel. Of all the 4 million negatives we have, the composition and the lighting is just perfect. My name is Darren Bush, and I'm the lead photographer for the Las Vegas News Bureau. I'm born and raised in Las Vegas. I'm a native Las Vegan. I have been a photographer for 25 years. My passion was always photography. So at one point in my life, I decided to give it a try as a profession, and it's worked out very well. I've been at the News Bureau since 1988. So what we try to do is help sell the city. These are the News Bureau photographers who preceded me. So after they were gone, we decided we should do the current staff. We're trying to have 40 million visitors come this year. Last year we had 39. And that will be a non-gaming economic impact of $40 billion. And we think we have a lot to do with that. Being a News Bureau photographer means not only just shooting events that come about. It can be it can be a ribbon cutting, a handshake, it could be two birds getting married at the Tropicana, or it could be a major UFC fight or a Mike Tyson Holyfield fight or New Year's Eve celebrations on the Strip. What we do is bring back the picture, and we caption it, we give it a file number, and if it warrants it, we send it out to newswires. A lot of times I'll see my photos published. I may send it to AP the night before, and the next night it's in either the New York Times or San Francisco Chronicle or Los Angeles Times. You never know where it's going to go. Right now we're in front of Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas. We're here to photograph the fireworks on New Year's Eve. The city itself is beautiful at night, and the fireworks will only enhance the magic of it. It's my opportunity to showcase my hometown. I love photographing Las Vegas, and because I was born and raised here, it's very special to me. Okay, we're on top of Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas, and this is what real photojournalists do. They get out in the elements and take care of business. We're going to be shooting south on Las Vegas Strip. My exposure time is going to be 4 seconds. Depth of field is going to be about f/16, so we can get the entire strip in focus. I've learned specific to this job that you have to have an eye for photography. You have to look through that lens and immediately see the composition. Even though technology has changed, the theory is still there. The lighting and the composition still has to be there. Right now we're getting the composition. We're going wide. It's going to be a wide angle shot. It's in focus. We get the entire strip in. The buildings have to be lit perfect, and the fireworks will just do their own thing. I just took a test shot. I think that's right on the money. Okay, we're good to go. Once they start, it's going to be a great view because you're viewing them eye level rather than looking up at them, and it's a spectacular sight. There we go. Well, that was the grand finale, and we just saw a tremendous New Year's show. Now we're going to go back to the office and send out these photos to the wire services, and they will distribute them worldwide. The city has changed a lot since I was born, and it has also changed again since I have come to the News Bureau. When I grew up here, gaming was the main industry. And now, believe it or not, it's shopping and dining. There came a point in the 90s where I remember taking a picture and it said, in front of the MGM, it was a construction zone, and it said, "Watch us roar in '94. Right around that time, the MGM and the New York, and the Monte Carlo and the Excalibur, Vegas just sprouted in the 90s. We had the opportunity to shoot all the openings and all the closings and all the implosions. That's what's so exciting to me. Since I love this town and it's my hometown, I can shoot the implosion of the Desert Inn with, it's kind of heavy on my heart because I worked there and my dad worked there. But then you're also shooting the new Wynn or the new Encore, which took its place. So it's kind of bittersweet. If we have any free time, which we usually don't, but sometimes we make time. We're trying to help scan the archives also. We'll take a few hours a week and go pull some negatives out of the vault and scan the archives. We're trying to digitize all the many, many millions of images we have in there. Well, here we are in the vault. I'm going to show you the first pictures the News Bureau ever took. All right, negative number 1 right here. Okay, because the News Bureau started in 1947, you can see it was in May 15th, 1947. It's a horse-drawn float downtown Las Vegas. One of the most interesting assignments I've ever had as a News Bureau photographer had nothing to do with taking a picture. We were going through the negatives in the archives, and I had gone through so many of them, and I didn't know a lot of names. And then in this particular picture, Joey Bishop was playing golf on the Desert Inn golf course. He was hitting balls on the driving range. Did not know why there was a person behind him laughing at him, carrying his clubs and pointing at him. And I knew Joey Bishop from the Sahara. So Joey said, "Come on down and I'll help you identify him." He said, "You'll never guess." And of all the times I've asked people, nobody's ever got it yet. So that was his hero, Harpo Marx from the Marx Brothers, without a wig. So Harpo was clowning around with Joey Bishop on the Desert Inn golf course. After being here 25 years, I've gone on probably 6,500 assignments, and I've probably taken 350,000 images in the vault. Shooting the Rolling Stones since I liked them when I was young, that was a big thrill. And I shot the first Mike Tyson-Holyfield fight, and Holyfield knocked him out, and it was just deafening in the MGM Grand. And that's probably the most exciting event I've ever shot. I do have the best job in the world. I'm promoting my hometown. Every day is a celebration, every day is new. There's not one day that's the same. And I don't care whether I work swing, days, or graveyard. It is just wonderful.
Finally, we take a look at the human body for all its beautiful complexity. The traveling Our Body exhibit makes a stop in Florida, and we are there to see it for ourselves. Join us for an inside look at an exhibit that's all about the inside.
What you're seeing here is a human anatomy exhibition that the bodies have been preserved. They're actual human specimens, and they've been preserved through a process called polymer impregnation. That process makes the bodies stay exactly as they are in the poses that they are right now. It is a non-toxic process, and basically it will last forever. We try to pose our specimen so they can show you something educationally about your body. How does a muscle work? How do things interact? And so this is a way, this is totally non-toxic, that it has no odor to it at all. It will last forever, so one specimen will teach generations upon generations about their body. And you can get right up close. Not everything is behind glass, only the smaller pieces. We try to give a beautiful museum-like environment, but we want and encourage school children to come through and other parents and have dialogue. When we first started with this whole process about understanding the human body, it was centuries ago, and it was mostly artists that brought that to our attention. We look at the works of Aristotle and Galen, and then we look at Leonardo da Vinci, and how did he study these muscle structures. Dissection was something that was not allowed during the time. It was actually forbidden. So much of our knowledge actually came from these great artists on how we got our body structure. And all those great artists took the knowledge and they put it into beautiful forms that we could see. Everybody is different colors on the outside of their body, but once you go down, one of the things I like to say is we're all pink on the inside. Doesn't matter if we're brown, black, white on the outside, we're all pink on the inside. And when you see that everybody is the same, even almost our entire digestive system, a man that's 6 foot tall and myself, a foot shorter than that, almost have the exact same digestive system in far as how much fits into that little part of your body as well. So it always fascinates me to find out, when you go and you look at the stomach and you realize that it's not much bigger than your fist, and I want to know, where does the turkey dinner go all the time? We're depending on our partners, and our partners are with the Anatomical Science and Technology Foundation, and they are a group of doctors and universities out of Hong Kong. These specimens are on loan to us, and only on loan, and our mission statement is about education, and a little bit more education while you're entertained, hopefully. We actually divide it up into the systems of the body. So we try to take you from the skin, which is the largest system of the body, and we try to bring you all the way down into the smallest little system. And you can divide that up and then study that for each system of the body. The human body by itself is such a magnificently beautiful creature. And when you see it from underneath the skin, you go down layers and layers, you can see how every single part of it is so beautiful. I hope they leave with a greater appreciation for what they've been given, because it is a beautiful piece. What other computer could you take and take half of it away and it would still function for you? That is the beauty of the human body. And I hope that you take away a better understanding of what you can do to make your life better, and a greater appreciation of what this gorgeous, incredible machine that you've been given. So we're like a little mini museum that tries to travel the globe. But I really get a great privilege of going around the world and educating people all about themselves, and getting to educate people that would never ever have an opportunity to see this in some of the places that we get to go. So I'm very appreciative of it, and very respectful and reverent that I get this opportunity to work with such great guys.
For more arts and culture, visit azpbs.org/artbeat, where you'll find feature videos and information on the Arizona art scene. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you.